We are marking especially we're celebrating 40 years of Aliya for the Jews from France. And especially would like to show the Israeli society this unique community and its contribution to the Israeli society.
The French Jewish community is a very big one, is above 500,000 Jews. So we in the Jewish Agency are first trying to keep them in touch with the State of Israel and to put Israel as a center in their Jewish education.
It's a traditional community that has some kind of renaissance in terms of religious life too, and special connections between the Jews in France and Israel. Don't forget that they have many relatives that came usually from North Africa. Some of them came to Israel, some of them went to France, and all these connections between them, of course, give some contribution to the ties between Israelis and the State of Israel and the Jews in France.
There is a kind of 30 to 40% of assimilation in France, which is very disturbing. So we are trying as much as we can to bring them to Israel through Taglit, Masa projects for a week, for 10 days, and even for half a year through Masa, in order to give them an Israeli experience and to make them fall in love with the State of Israel.
There is a tremendous change in terms of Jewish education. We just mentioned that, let's say, on the 50s, you hardly could find children going to Jewish school. Now we are talking about 45% of the children of the Jewish community in France that are getting some Jewish education. And because of the connection to Israel, so we believe that will have some influence about the numbers of Aliya also to Israel. Jewish education will contribute also to Aliya.
There is a huge influence of the Islamic community in France. And from time to time, it brings problems into the Jewish communities, and it makes the numbers of those who are applying for Aliya to increase. We are trying as much as we can to bring Olim to Israel, and we are quite lucky because 2,000 per year is a huge number, and we even want to increase it.
So we're talking here about 40 years of Aliya. What happens to these Olim after they come to Israel? Are we seeing unified communities? Is it important for them to stay together?
Informally, yes, I think so. But they are not, in the meantime, they have not created some Jewish institutions strong, like, for instance, for the North American citizens who made Aliya.
How do you look at this as opposed to the North American Aliya, where we see institutions, organizations continuing here in Israel after they make Aliya, and with the French we're not seeing that as much?
Because it's a reproduction of the cultural politics of France or of US. In US, the Jews have learned to build institutions. In France, you learn to address the society, the general society, as an individual, or in religious terms, not in the institutional framework.
I understand that even today we're marking another 75 French Olim to Israel.
Yes, last night we had 75 new Olim coming to Israel. They get a very good treatment in the hotel. They get the Jewish identity, the Israeli identity card. They get all the needs. They open the bank account, and they get helped. So, in the next day, they will be moved right to their new address in various places. Not like in the past. Now they go each one near their families, in the places, near the universities, in the places they want to work in.